everybody, it's Claudia with Real Progressives, and I wanted to come on today because I watched a documentary yesterday called What the Health, and I urge all of you to see it. So the corruption around health, food, and big pharma and our government is so unbelievable that it is criminal. It's absolutely criminal because they are playing with the lives of every one of you every day in order to make money. They don't give a shit whether you live or die. Actually, they do give a shit that you don't die too soon because they make too much money off of you while you are sick. And I wrote a bunch of stuff down yesterday while I was watching because I was so stunned by that. Okay. First of all, the food we are eating and the food that places like the American Cancer Society, the American Heart Society, the American Diabetes Society, the foods they are recommending are exactly the foods that will keep people sick, that will keep people having heart attacks, that will keep people having cancer, and that will keep people having diabetes. That's number one, okay? So right there, we got serious problems because those so-called nonprofits and foundations and associations that are there to help us get healthy are absolutely in collusion with the food industry and the pharma industry, because I wrote down who is sponsoring them. Okay, who are their big donors? Merck, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, you can name Lilly, you can name any of the big pharmaceutical companies, and they will be the sponsors of exactly those associations alongside with the egg industry, the milk industry, the meat industry, Kraft, Nestle, all those companies that are producing nothing but garbage, okay, that is making people unbelievably sick, are the same ones that are sponsoring, and I say it again, the American Cancer Association, the American Diabetes Association, the American Heart Association. They are actually still promoting that you eat steak when we all know it clogs up your arteries and you get a heart attack. But no, that's who is sponsoring them. That's why they are promoting it. It is absolutely nutty. So let me tell you a little about the numbers. So stents, they put in your heart if you have a heart attack, basically. Stents, $5 billion industry, okay? Statins, $35 billion industry. Chronic illnesses are the cash cow of big pharma. Okay, it's the cash cow of big pharma. If you are chronically ill, that's perfect because you will stay on your meds. You will depend on them for life. You will not get any better. It's phenomenal. And that's exactly what they're aiming for with the food they're giving us. Now, all those companies, all those pharmaceutical companies and food producers are also, of course, lobbying heavily at our government. They are completely in collusion with our government. And I want to give you some numbers on lobby spending here. Just to put it in perspective, banks, their average lobbying per year is 64 million. Defense companies, 74 million. Oil, 129 million, and big pharma, 238. Pharma spends almost twice as much as big oil in lobbying. Now, why do you think we don't have affordable, universal health care? They go bankrupt. They go completely bankrupt. That's why we don't have affordable, universal health care. Okay, we don't have universal health care, period, but we will not anytime soon get affordable universal health care because then they would actually have to reduce their medications to a price where it is in other countries. Canada, 10%. Cuba, 0.01% the price of some medications here in this country. Europe, cheaper. All countries. India, cheaper. All cheaper. This country pays the most for prescription drugs of any country in the world. And the reason being is Big Pharma. Anytime they are trying to reduce prices, Big Pharma lobbyists are all over the place. Why do you think that even in a tiny state house in Vermont where I live, small little state, very little, we have 12 pharma lobbyists permanently. They're there every day at the state house lobbying for against universal health care, for higher prescription drugs, for vaccinations. I mean, you name it, and they will lobby for it against you and me. That's what they're doing. Now, I want to say something about diet, because it is vitally important that everybody starts to understand this. When you eat healthy, you will get healthy. The body has an enormous capability of repairing itself. It really is a miracle. And Hippocrates said thousands of years ago, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And it couldn't be more right. And I'm going to use the analogy of a car. If you're driving a car, you would not put sugar in where your oil goes, because your car will not run. So why would you put stuff into your body that will make you sick? Processed meats are on the forefront of dangerous foods. They're actually labeled, even in this country, carcinogenic. So you're talking deli meats, sliced ham, sliced turkey, hot dogs, you name it, like the canned meats. I don't even know what people eat. But all of that are considered dangerous. They are causing cancer. They are causing heart disease, and not just a little bit, enormously. Okay. So those are foods that are absolutely dangerous. If you are on medications for heart disease, for cancer, for diabetes, for cholesterol, you need to change your eating habits. Cholesterol only exists in the animal kingdom. So if you eat from the plant kingdom, your cholesterol will automatically go down. You will not be able to help it. It will go down. Because if you don't add cholesterol to your body, it will go down, undoubtedly. And the cholesterol the body needs, it will be able to make from plant food. Diabetes, we have been lied to for I don't know how long, that sugar causes diabetes. That is absolutely not true. Fat causes diabetes. Fat from animals causes diabetes. Let that sink in. Fat from animals causes diabetes. So if you're eating that kind of food and you are diabetic, you need to change away from eating animals. Cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer. The risk of getting prostate cancer and breast cancer, it's 49% if you eat dairy. 49% higher risk of getting breast cancer, and I think it's in the 30% range for prostate cancer if you eat dairy. So let that sink in. Now, of course, we will hear endlessly from the meat, dairy, and egg industry that we need protein. Protein, protein, protein. Well, the truth is, too much protein causes cancer. Okay, you need about 50 grams of protein a day on a normal adult. People eat around 100 grams a day if they eat the typical American diet. It's too much. Actually, if we teeter around 30 to 40%, we're perfectly great and healthy. Now, all protein comes from plants. All protein, I say it again, comes from plants. Animal protein is recycled plant protein. If you would eat 2,000 calories just in brown rice and broccoli a day, you would have enough protein for any adult, period. So get away from the protein myth. It's a selling tool of the of the food industry that is in cahoots with big pharma, that is in cahoots with our government to keep you sick and keep you chronically ill so they can drain all your money. And I think that is probably it. Let me see what else. Yeah, so the other thing that they are doing, and I made a note for myself here, why they're lobbying so hard in Washington is, of course, to pass new laws that suit them, like the ag-gag law, which means ag-gag, agricultural gag law, which means you're not allowed to talk about poorly about those things anymore. You're not allowed to take pictures of factory farms. And in many states now, where it's actually a federal crime to spread the truth about how animals are treated and how the factory farming is just absolutely horrendous, completely unhealthy. I mean, when you have to wash meat with ammonia in a factory in order to get rid of the bacteria, so it's more or less, it looks like it's consumable, but it's not. Don't you think that's a bit of a problem? I mean, seriously. Another thing I learned yesterday is that what do 80% of the pork chops, 90% of ground beef, and 95% of chicken have in common? What do they have in common? I'll wait for 1 second and see whether anybody comes on that knows the answer to that. I'm telling you right now, it is fecal matter. Okay, 80% of the pork chops, 90% of ground beef and 95% of chicken has fecal matter. And why is that? Because the processing of the animals in slaughterhouses is at such a rapid speed, they simply do not have time to clean things up. They saw right through the animal. It goes all over the place. The contamination is it's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. So even if you don't stop eating animals for the sake of the animals, which is, however, if you can no longer eat those foods and remain healthy and expect to remain healthy. And then I know, like yesterday, they also pointed on that. There are people that go, well, paleo diet, basically rich on vegetables, rich on animal food, no carbs. Okay? Big mistakes. All of us have heard of the really healthy guy in the gym, fit, vibrant, dropping dead at the tennis court at the age of 45. Why? Because the animal fats will plug up your arteries. They will plug them, plug them up, and boom, people have heart attacks. You know, that's what happens because you need fiber. You need a lot of fiber in order to remain healthy. And that is where it's at. You need the fiber is the scrub sponge in your body. If you don't eat a lot of fiber, and fiber comes from plants, it comes from vegetables, it comes from beans, it comes from grains, brown rice, the most whole food on the planet. So please, I urge you, look into it. Don't take my word for it. Watch the documentary, What the Health, because I've never seen it outlined better than in that documentary. I mean, it is so well done. So well done. And inform yourself. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.